Load full, it's just gonna pick up. So you
Can start now. Great.
We can start now.
yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Impact Gospel Radio Station. Today, we'll be discussing insurance, and our guest is Mrs. Kadeen Smith. Mrs. Kadeen Smith, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I am well. I am so blessed. So happy to be with you all on Impact Gospel Radio.
We're happy to have you. We also have others viewing and will be asking questions throughout the presentation. And so
Okay.
our main, yes, indeed. Our main discussion will be on life insurance.
Yeah.
Persons on Facebook and other social media platform, you will have the opportunity to ask question. You can just type your question as it relates
Mm.
to life insurance. But before we start our presentation, we'd love to know a little about you, Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
We know you are with Sagicor. What's your role there?
Well, I am so blessed. So happy to be with you all on Impact Gospel Radio.
Okay.
Wow. I see. All right. So I am Kadeen Smith, as you said. I have been a financial advisor for about 14 years, working with Sagicor Life Jamaica Limited. Sagicor Life is a household name, a market leader in the life insurance business in Jamaica. It has a track record of um, wise financial advice for over several years. And so I'm happy to bring you information on how you can protect your families, how you can prepare for retirement, and how you can actually have the funds when you need it for a critical illness diagnosis. So I am here to answer your questions.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So, life insurance, our main subject today. I know that Sajio covers a lot of different areas, but today we're gonna discuss life insurance. Life insurance. Why is life insurance important, Mrs. Kedin? And should we
Hmm.
embrace it? Should we run ahead and just purchase a life insurance? Why is it important?
Life insurance is an amazing product. It is one that creates monies for the family at a time when they need it most. You are going along and you don't plan for unexpected events. It just happens. So there is the death of a loved one, a breadwinner, somebody who is depended on for their economic contribution to the family, and they are cut off unexpectedly.
Mhm.
The bills won't stop. You won't stop. The children won't stop eating food. The mortgage has to be the rent has to be paid. If there's a mortgage, then that would um, be paid off with the insurance that's on the in the mortgage. So when a breadwinner dies, then life insurance comes in to continue that income of that breadwinner. So that's the beautiful thing about it. So many persons, there are many beneficiaries are saying, we wish it was more, not less, because it's so useful. Yes,
Wow.
very
Um,
important.
So who should embrace the idea of life insurance? I know, in the past we normally say, the elderlies they're dying, and so they need life insurance. Um, should everyone get life insurance, or should we just buy it for our parents?
Well, we say that we cover for persons, anyone alive, from the cradle to the grave. So when you're young, a life insurance plan a child buying a plan for a child, you'd say, why would you buy a life insurance plan for a child? But on that plan, you can build up cash values and use it as a tool to save for their education. The life insurance the cost would be minuscule because they're not and someone who is earning and not an adult, a child. No, the young adult, 20, 21, right? Just starting to work. That person needs life insurance because when you think of, say, a mortgage, they'll be thinking of buying their house in the next 5, 10 years, say 10 years at 21. They will need to provide life insurance to cover that mortgage cost. When they buy it at 31, it's double the cost of what they would get it for at 21. So when they're educated enough to realize the benefit of purchasing insurance early, then once they get in early, then the cost is minuscule compared to what they have to pay later. Because I'm telling you guys that mortality rates increase as you get older. So young people, time to buy the life insurance. And again, remember, you can build up cash values on that for the years when you need it in the future.
I like
Further
that.
on, it is said that, more people are dying older, but not really. People are dying young to the old are dying. But most young persons are concerned about, the impact on their finances if their parents pass away. And so they're seeing the need for the parents to have an insurance. They see that need. The cost for the parents' coverage would, of course, be more expensive than if they were younger, but you can get life insurance for persons up to age 80. Yes, that's the final age. At age 75, you can get the non-medical plan. So they don't have to really do pass a medical up to age 75. But if they're 76, 77 to 80, they must be able to pass a medical. So say you are there in the diaspora and you have a grandma or a mother or a father here or an uncle that needs life insurance. If they're 76, all I'll do is meet with them and take them to the doctor where they get a free medical paid by Sagicor and they can apply for their insurance coverage.
You
If,
said
because it's COVID time and you don't want them to have to come out the house, then they can go for the non-medical one. If they are younger, if they are 75 and younger, they can get non-medical plans. So there's insurance for you.
wow.
Yes. Yes.
I'm amazed by two things you said. One is the cash value that someone accumulates over a period of time. And I'm
Yes.
also impressed with the fact that Sagicor provides free medical services for potential applicants. That
Right.
is
Right.
good.
Because the thing is, we are interested in knowing that you are in good health and that you are well. And that is why we hire a panel of doctors to actually look for specific things, in the medical so that persons can be approved for insurance. So it's not a problem for us. Yeah.
Okay. But how does it work though? Because a lot of persons tonight, they are listening on
Right.
the radio, listening on our social media platform, and
Mhm.
some of them are in America, some are in Canada, some are in
Yes.
England, and they have their family back home. How does it
Right.
work? I want to take out a policy for my mother or my father in Jamaica, and I am in
Yes.
America, but Sagicor is in Jamaica.
Okay.
How does it work? Take us through the process.
All right. Some persons might just want to call me directly and ask a question that they can call me on 876-423-1932. That's 876-423-1932, or send a WhatsApp and I will send a free quotation. All right. But there are two ways now. So if I am contacted, your relative is here, then of course I'd get the contact for the relative and we'll meet and I do the paperwork. I'll be informing you in the diaspora of the rates, what is happening, and so on. Of course, you would be the payer, so you would actually go on our platform, the Sagicor platform, and make the payment with your credit card, or you can set up through Paymaster to make the payment online. So there's no joining any lines to send monies
Very convenient.
or wire monies or so. So that's one. Two, and your mother here or whoever the person is here can go on our eLife platform, which is the electronic life insurance platform. And of course, I can guide them through, say they don't want to come out to meet with me because of COVID. And they can enter their details and get their rate on that platform and create their policy. Yes. And when it's completed, the option is there for payment. And then that is where you, the person who is interested in, who made the contact, who's taking out the policy for that loved one, would access that payment portal and make the payment from us. Yes, so you would be assigned as a payer. So you'd have, say, for example, I am the grandma and my name would be there. And on that third page, I would add a payer, which would be you in the diaspora. Then you'll be able to go on and make the payment, right? So it's quite easy, and there are options.
Yes, that's lovely. One other thing I'm thinking of though, and this is in regards to funerals. I
Yes.
know that I was there in Jamaica like 2 years or 2.5 years ago, and I went down to bury my uncle, and I did not know it was so expensive to bury him
Yes.
dead. And so we had to pool our monies together to make it happen. But it
Right.
seems like if we had a policy, then it
Mm.
wouldn't be such a burden
No.
to cover the expenses of the funeral. So let me ask you though, in terms of the different packages that are available, um, guide us, help us to understand the price range in terms of the
Okay. Well, I don't know all the packages that are there, but I give you an idea. All right. I'm trying not to hang out with the mortician too much. All right. So on average, I'd say you have to have adequately 1 million Jamaican dollars for comfortable spend on a funeral.
Wow.
1 million. Yes. Now there is, I know one place just for the interment, just for that spot, it's 300,000 for that. But in terms of storage and the casket and so on, that's another 200 and odd plus, and that's for basic. So basic is about 600,000.
Wow.
Right. So if you go below that, then of course you would have some compromises in there. But if you want to go just regular basic, you're thinking of 600,000. Now persons don't think of the other costs, like you're going here, transportation costs, you have to think about that. There are some surprises in terms of you having to pay for reports or to just get things done. Preparation for the funeral and so on. Then at least, nothing is not so bad where COVID has cut some of the costs, because there used to be 9 nights and repast that cost an arm and a leg, right? So you can keep some of that million, maybe 100,000 left or 200,000 left in your pocket, right? To do some other things, because there are some other charges that you don't factor in
Right.
when someone passes. Because remember, you have never been there before. It's the first time with this person. So think of transportation, think of groceries for the family when you're, because the breadwinner is gone, or and things are different. People are coming over. You need to be spending a lot of money. And
Yeah.
therefore, if you can get a replenished pocket through this life insurance payout, then we welcome it. You
Right.
you'd only be wishing it was $2 million to buy some US dollars to return,
Wow.
right?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So package wise, think 650,000 about that,
And you said that's basic.
and then a basic.
And I
Right,
know
right.
most people don't go basic these days.
Ah, yes. So I'm not. I did not. That was not describing the glass casket and the, you know,
And the gold.
the escalator first. All of those things are different. Right, right. Yes,
Wow.
gold handle casket. Those trimmings. Yes,
Mhm.
without the trimmings. So when if you're talking trimmings now, then it's a different category. Yes, yes, yes.
Beautiful.
Right.
So someone just sent a
Yes,
message to
questions.
ask
Any
question.
questions? Yes.
Yes. And later on, others on the platform can also ask question. Feel
Mhm.
free to write your question to ask. So someone is asking, what if the person had insurance and died without putting a beneficiary on the form? Who does that money goes to?
Right.
Can I get that
I
money, please?
must say though that we don't accept an application without a beneficiary assigned on it.
That's wise.
It could be that there was a plan some years ago where on it there's no beneficiary name, but it says estate, pay to my estate. So if they pass and estate is assigned to it, then after the will is probated and all of that would go to the estate. Now the will has to be probated, and upon settlement of the estate, then the payout will be made. So that's a longer process. So we are on a campaign. So even right now through this call, through this information, you need to check with me, get in touch with me. If you have policies here, check to see that you have a named beneficiary on. Check to see if you have named beneficiaries. That is not all your 10 brothers or 5 sisters if it's a $500,000 plan. Just put one, because then you want to be able to assign those monies straight to the person who will deal with things, right? So there are some things to tidy up. There are some persons who might be divorced or no longer have a particular spouse and they haven't changed the beneficiary. So we don't want the monies to be tied up and can't be paid out. So please look at your policy. Is there any other question? I think I saw something across the screen. I'm not sure if that's a question. Yeah. So I hope that answered. But check to see. Use this time to do your own financial checkup. Do I have enough insurance? How much do I have? What if? How much will I need? And so on.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right, so we have a few questions coming from different section, left, right, and center. This
Lovely.
question to you, are there packages offered if you want to insure a couple, or is it an individual fee?
Okay, it is an individual plan. It's individual life insurance. So in terms of a couple, then you would have each having an insurance on themselves and the other being the beneficiary, right? Where you have a health card now, then you have you named as the owner, and then you have the um, spouse on it. That's different. But individual life insurance, because the exposure is to each person. When one dies, then the beneficiary is paid out, and the other can be named as beneficiary. Yes.
Okay,
Another
beautiful.
one. What's the other
Yes.
question?
There's a question on the screen here. If I am in the USA and would like to
Yes.
insure a family member,
Mhm.
who would evidence of insurability be questioned? How would that part of it affect processing the policy?
Yes. So if there are two options. So upon the preliminary interview, in terms of insurability, if person is healthy, then we can assess them to get the medical one, which is an immediate, there's no waiting period on that one. So what's the difference between the one where you do a medical and the one that's non-medical? There's a waiting period on the non-medical one. So in case of death within 12 months, there's a refund of premium on the non-medical one. on where you pass a medical, if there's immediate death, like within weeks of getting it, there is a payout, right? So when I do the initial assessment, say the person has high cholesterol, high diabetes, hypertension, those pre-existing conditions could bar you from getting a regular. You would not pass a medical, or might not, but where you pass a medical, because I've had persons with diabetes and hypertension getting a plan. However, it's not at the normal rate of insurance coverage. So say, for example, the cost was $6,000, then the person might be paying 10,000, but they got their coverage. Yep.
Mhm.
So, and they're very happy about that because they're thinking that they don't have 12 months to be waiting in case of death, then there's a refund of premium. They're thinking if death happens now, then there is a payout.
Right.
So,
Right.
so the person doesn't have to fear about evidence of insurability or so, because if you don't get one, you can get the other.
Cool. Great.
Good.
Um, so as we seek to wrap up though, is there anything else that we need to know as it relates to life insurance? Help us to understand why we need to get it now. Also, I know people will call you to ask follow-up questions to seek clarity on certain questions.
Yeah.
At the end, I would love for you to state your number again and email, just in
Right.
case we want to reach out to you for information on particular policies.
Yeah. Right. So in terms of getting it, no, because when you check, your heart is beating. Yes, we're alive. Once we're alive, we have the responsibility to take care of ourselves and our family. Once we get information through Impact Gospel Radio, then we have to be more responsible to act on this information to at least protect our families, right? So there are things that there are gonna be some consequences if you don't act now, in terms of the cost goes up. And then I end up getting more premium stuff, right? You'd want to do it now so that you can pay less, right? You're young now, so get it now. You're gonna be older next year. It's gonna be more expensive. Also, we have no guarantees for health. I might not be well tomorrow. I don't know anybody who has a guarantee, but we don't have guarantees, and we might be ill tomorrow and can't get regular insurance. So I'm telling you guys, money is not the only thing that buys insurance. Health buys it, right? And you might not have the health tomorrow, so you can do it today. So you can contact me. Of course, I give you free advice at all times. All right, so call me on,
Before you
WhatsApp
proceed,
me on, yes, yes.
I know Miss Angela Arlett is on, and I know
Okay.
we were having a discussion earlier, in regards to her father not having an
Oh,
insurance, and she was, trying to get some information from you.
okay, what's
We
the
still have
age?
Miss Angela before we close, because we would like to accommodate you. You can go
Mm,
ahead and ask that final question in regards to
mm.
your father.
Yes. Yes, my dad, he's 79, going into 80. So,
Okay.
I don't because the reason why I have, because my mom, she just did a surgery. There was no insurance, and
Okay.
it she have 12 children, but all of us did it. We all did it. 12 of us all did it. Thank God for the 12 children that are still alive. But
Okay, so you keep
but yes, she just do a leg. And so we were talking about if they have insurance, we wouldn't have to,
pay
come
all
with
that.
all that money to put her to do it in a private hospital. So
Right,
thinking about my dad, you
right.
know, she's still
So
alive.
for
My mom still is alive, thank God. Still,
right, thank God for that.
yeah, yeah.
So in terms of, sorry, there are two things there in your point that you raised. There's health insurance and there's life insurance. The
Mhm.
health insurance that would have passed the age for the health insurance, which is age 64.
Mhm.
And there's now a new one for farmers. So guys, if you have anyone in Jamaica that's a farmer and they have a RADA number, they can get health insurance once they are
Oh,
75 and under. 75 and under. That's a new plan. So the other thing now with life insurance, and yes, you can still get life insurance once you
okay.
can pass medical. And so once there's no hypertension, diabetes, fit as a fiddle, then yes, it's so you can message me on the number. I hope you wrote it down, the 423-1932.
I get it from Brother Roddy. If I
Yes,
don't.
876. Oh, you can put it in the chat to Sir Rati, 876-423-1932. So I'll have to ask you a few things about whether, there's any pre-existing condition. So I won't ask her
Yeah,
on air, so we can
definitely.
get some other information. Yes,
Definitely.
but thank you so
Yes.
much for that question. And I appreciate as many of those as possible because you need to know, persons need to know if they can actually insure their relatives here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you gave us your telephone number.
Right.
Are there other ways that we can reach you? Can persons email you?
Right. So email Kedine _ that's KEDINE _ Matthews Smith MATTHEWS Smith at sagicor.com SAGICOR.com, and I'll be happy to send you options so you can have. So you can put that in the chat as well, so I can see that. That is correct. Wow, great.
Thank you so much. So
Mhm.
friends,
Thank you.
there you have it.
Right.
Mrs. Kadeen Matthews Smith
Submit.
with
Yes.
Sagicor on Impact
Right.
Gospel Radio. So join us every
Mhm.
Monday, same time,
Right.
same place, 8 p.m. for your lady, Mrs.
Amen.
Matthew
And
Smith.
then next week, we'll be talking about critical illness and the process in terms of diagnosis. So you don't want to miss that one.
Right. Okay.
So tune in, guys. Impact
Yes.
Gospel Radio Station, the #1 gospel radio station here in the heart of New York, impacting the body, mind, and soul. Have yourself a good evening.